Whoops. Hey. Okay. Okay, ladies and gents. Welcome. It's another week. And yes, I know. If you pressed play, you're waiting to see, is he there? Is he there? Yes, I'm still in Studio B. But do not be dismayed. For I am not dismayed. We are making progress. I'm being so meticulous about every square inch of that studio at this point. Tomorrow night, I will not be live. I will not be doing a show. I'm going to be going to the studio extra early tomorrow, and I'm going to be building up so many of my profiles that I've been working on all week. Been there every day of the weekend, and I just needed a huge chunk of time, and that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. So I'll get there sometime late in the afternoon, and I'll go right up until there's band practice. So that's about 8 o'clock or so. But that band practice is actually going to be mostly about redesigning the other room. And I've got more things coming in. I had to make another round of orders, and hopefully I'll be able to return some stuff. But I don't know. Had to make some compromises just to get things to work. But they are working, and I'm getting very excited about new space, new vibes, new looks. You're going to see some things, noticeable things have changed, but I think that it's going to be such a cozy refresh. I'm looking forward to it. And that's what we got going on tomorrow night. And, you know, if all goes well, I will do a test stream. I'll do a test stream either on YouTube and DLive. DLive is the easiest thing for me to go live on without having to, like, pre-record something. But I'll do a test stream, maybe on YouTube and DLive, at the very least DLive, and I'll get the links out to people. I'll tweet and Telegram and put out an announcement on the Gilded. There's so many awesome things coming, but it has been fun, a fun challenge. Tell you that much. All right, so what are we doing tonight? Tonight it's just going to be you and I. We're going to be, yes. Uh-oh. Look who it is. What are you doing? Come here. Come here. Quick. What are you doing? Isn't it time for you to go to bed?
Yeah, but I just wanted to peek in.
You wanted to peek in?
Uh-huh.
How was your weekend? Tell everybody how your weekend was.
I go to Ashley's house.
And what did you eat?
I ate macaroni and cheese.
And what about over the weekend? Did you do anything fun this weekend on Friday or Saturday? Did you listen to any good music?
No.
I think you. What's the song that we sing together every time we're in the car now?
Croissant on a bone.
Oh, croissant on the bone. What about Still Loving You?
Still loving you.
You like singing that end part? She sings the end of the Scorpions. So, sing it for everybody right now.
Okay, I didn't remember the words.
You didn't remember the words?
No.
Hold on. Click, 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 click. Scroll. Wait a second. All right, here it is. Let's find this. Let's get to the end. Ready? Here we go. Hold on a second.
This can't be the end. I'm still loving you.
Go ahead, sing it again. Nice loud.
Still loving you.
One more time, big time, go.
Still loving you.
Oh yeah.
Your love, still loving you. You still not sing like me.
I know. I can't go that. I can't sing that high. Okay, so listen. Tell everybody to have a good night.
Have a good night.
Everybody have a good bath.
Have a good bath.
And say have sweet dreams.
Have sweet dreams.
And say your prayers.
Say your prayers.
Okay, that's it. Go tell mommy that you did it. Okay? All right, good night. Love you.
I just
You want to press a button? Go ahead. Press a button.
I hate them.
Good job. Very nice. It's got a little chaotic in here, but thank you so much. You're the best. You want to be my co-host next year?
Yeah.
You want to do a show with me next year? We'll talk about all the things you want to talk about. Okay? All right, bye. What are you, a kitty cat? Alrighty. Go jump in the bath with mommy.
Okay.
Alrighty. Have a good...
I'm not taking a shower. I just pretended a bath is a shower.
You got to pretend the bath is a shower. You're right. But you'll love the shower one day. All right. Take care. Be good.
Okay.
See you soon. Bye-bye. All right. So that doesn't happen at the other studio, as you know. And of course, I have no guest on tonight. I've got you guys and gals. What are we talking about? In the first half, I want to do a little bit on the concept of tipping, gratuity, tipping culture. What kind of a culture do we have here? Do we have a culture that requires people to tip? And is that actually a tip? I know there are some people who have take principled stances against tipping. So I want to see what we have from you guys and gals on that. I'll be taking calls in the first half. And then in the second half, I want to go through some of the escalation of war that we have going on over the weekend, what our Congress gave us, or at least expressed a desire to give us, which was, another one of these spending bills. But it's all about how they can use us once again as collateral to fund wars in Ukraine and Israel and of course leave our border not only wide open, but the only resources given down there is only to suck people in, bring them in and process them and then ship them inside to pretty much stamp tickets. That's what border security is now, stamping tickets, even though there's no tickets. No ticket. Get the hell out. But that's what we're going to do tonight, and I hope that you guys and gals are up for the challenge. I want to thank my sponsors, BlueMonsterPrep.com. If you're reading Lucifer's Hammer, which we have session 5 after the show ends tonight at 9:00, then you must be thinking about Blue Monster Prep. Okay, you must be. Now, they don't have any comet or asteroid insurance or anything like that, but damn it, you will be in better shape than most as long as the thing doesn't hit your house. You'll be in better shape than most for at least a couple of months. Two-way radios, emergency hand crank radios, whatever it is, water survival filters, pellets, this and that, life straws, backup solar power generators, emergency food. They just do not have insulin. As we all know from Lucifer's Hammer, I think one sheep can provide a month's worth of insulin. I don't know. That's what that Dan, what's his name, character, Forrester character is talking about. I wonder what happened to him. He wasn't in this last set of chapters. Anyway, that's something else. BlueMonsterPrep.com, promo code Frankly, and get your shipping taken off the top. Tomorrow, no show. Like I said, we're putting more hours into Studio A, maybe a test stream. But on Wednesday night, Jeremy Reese is on the show. Goes by the alien scientist, and he's been in the game for a long, long time. We know him from back in the day, and there has been so much published in the last couple of days on AI, Neuralink, this Google goggle thing that just came out, whatever the hell it was, the new goggle thing came out. People are already walking around like cyborg zombies. We're going to be talking a lot about that on Wednesday night. And I hope that opens up a pathway into UFOs and UFO technology, because Jeremy is awesome on that. It's the first of many talks, I hope. So whatever we don't get to, we'll get around to it some other time. On Thursday night, we have Nurse Penny Whitbrodt coming on the show to talk about her near-death experience that she was not able to do with us back in September. This one is an intense one, and we'll be able to take a lot of great calls on that. I know it's going to be a good. And then on Friday night, I don't know, a little bit. Hopefully, we're in the studio. Hopefully, we're in Studio A by that time, and we can talk. We can talk a little bit about rigged sports, and I have some funny stuff to do. And it'd be nice to have Matt in there. It's Matt's birthday tomorrow. February 6th is Matt's birthday, so that would be nice to have him in. Anyway, also been talking to John Ward over the weekend, and hold on to your butts, because sometime soon we're going to do something fun. All right. So with that all said, let's jump into the first headline of the grab bag. Since there's no guest on tonight, we can spend a little bit of time talking about the headlines and just kind of stretching out and having a good time. Please stick with us tonight, even when we jump over to quitefrankly.tv and pilled.net, Foxhole, because I want to get as many calls as possible in on this tipping and gratuity thing. I know that we're going to get a variety of responses on this, but let's go to the headlines. King Charles diagnosed with cancer. You hear about that? Well, they said that his reign was going to be short and tumultuous. I don't know. They say that this is not it's not prostate cancer, but it was discovered during a recent treatment for an enlarged prostate. So it's not prostate cancer, but somewhere around there. They have not revealed what it is, but according to the palace statement, the king began regular treatments on Monday. And they're good about they feel good about the prognosis, they say. But I don't know. I don't know about that. Now, everybody's going to have a theory. Some of you think that he's probably already gone. I know we saw those the picture of him with those red swollen sausage fingers, and all of the internet medical sleuths out there were saying, oh, that is definitely congestive heart failure. He's dying. I don't know what's going on. But the one thing that does bother me about these headlines is, man, of all the things that we've read and discussed and theorized and speculated about with the royals, to get a royal cancer diagnosis, just like, if they can't avoid a diagnosis, damn. It's just like nobody can avoid that shit, I guess. Unless, how are they living? You tend to think that these people have the best of the best, regardless of how they got it. You tend to think that. It just makes you a little. Whenever a celebrity would get sick like that, I always like what's his name? Sam Neill. Sam Neill's not doing too well either. Dr. Grant, he's not doing too well. And you think about these people eating kale salads and tofu, and that's probably why. Jay Goulinel's like, they should have had a steak. You're right, they should have fasted a little bit. Oh, that prostate, man, I'll tell you. Let's go over here now. I have to bring this up because I made a joke about Vince McMahon last week. Let me just say, the only thing I knew about the Vince McMahon thing at that time was the sole headline, the one little piece of information that he had sex toys. Kids, get out of here. Get the kids out of here. That's it. You too. You. Good. Come back in a little bit. All right, they're gone? Good. So listen to this shit. He had these sex toys all over the place. I told you this last week. And he was naming, according to this girl, Janelle Grant, who is suing him, or had an NDA and had it was supposed to be $3 million payout and all that stuff. And after $1 million or something like that, he just said, no, you're not getting any more. Well, she went public with it all. And what I had seen was that he had these toys all in his, I don't know, office. And the white sex toys were being named after white wrestlers, and the black ones were being named after black wrestlers. And that being the only thing I knew about the story, I thought that was pretty funny. It is, on its own, that's pretty funny. And then when you read what the hell happened, I was talking about it with Rob and T and, a couple other friends over the weekend when we were at the studio and just, trying to make things work, and we're just chilling out. The details started coming out. Then I went and read a little bit more. It's It's pretty sick shit. And it happened recently. He was in his 70s when he was doing this stuff. Like, we're talking about, like, scat stuff. Like, he, like, pooed on her. Okay? He pooed on her. And then her night didn't even end there. You would think that getting shit on would be the grand finale. Didn't. So I just want to come out here a couple days later and just say the only thing I knew about this situation was the headline about the sex toys. Nothing else is very funny. Nothing else is very funny at all. I'll look into that a little bit more. We'll see where it all goes. Okay, here's one other thing. The Epoch or Epic Times headline there: Chinese military studying cognitive attacks against U.S. population. The CCP hopes to encourage a psychological or cognitive decision to surrender, says Nathan Bucamp Mustafaga of Rand Corp. I gotta say, this is mind war. This is mind war. Researchers in China's military are studying how to use influence operations to sow discord abroad and encourage a mentality of defeat in the United States, according to one expert. The Chinese communists, you can't do that to us. We've already been defeated by our own people. Its military wing, the People's Liberation Army, are engaged in cyber-enabled influence operations against the United States and looking to further expand their capabilities for disruption, according to Nathan Bucam Mustafaga, a policy researcher at RAND. There's a group of PLA researchers often focus on influence operations who argue that the cognitive domain is the new focus of warfare. Well, I should say, again, and we have a whole blog on this on Quite Frankly's blog section on quitefrankly.tv about mind war, psychological operations, and Michael Aquino. So mind war was the latest upgrade of what was psychological operations that was really rolled out and tested in Vietnam and the jungles out there. But the mind war was created by a lot of our military guys. Some of them, founders of things like the Temple of Set, and probably taught to the Chinese, to be honest. I mean, it was all, and that was all about using media to have a target population give up the will to fight, or to even find the need to fight when faced with a legitimate threat, to essentially win wars by preventing them and just bending another population to your will. And of course, I always thought it was funny to read into that and say, oh, well, they're learning how to do this with the media so that they can infect other people's media. They would never roll that out domestically. And you can say that the Chinese, of course, they're going to have some operations of their own, but they don't have to push American culture too far. We're already in the gutter. And TikTok has to be a big part of it. But, just because that is more Chinese than other platforms, but it doesn't mean that the other platforms are really that much better. It's just like one of those things. It was very strange for me to read this. Very strange for me to read this as if it's something new. Maybe it's just a Chinese version of it. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? I have a couple more things to do before we get rolling into main topics, and I hope that you're here with us on the other end of the intro. All right? So with that being all taken care of, I'll see you in a bit. Anytime.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's ride!
Hello, everybody. I love this song. I haven't heard it in so long. I was listening to it about 10 years ago, more. Amy MacDonald, Scottish. She's Scottish. Good album, actually. I listened to the whole damn thing back then. Listen, ladies and gents, I am so happy to have you. And I got to say, last night on QuiteFrankly.tv, I programmed Sunday nights, the playlists there. Frank's Picks. Nice way to end the week and to begin a new one. And last night, I played two things. The first one was this really messed up. My brother sent this one to me. It was a video called like "The Sad, Disturbing Downfall of Howard Stern," which was something else because it brought back a lot of memories, some messed up stuff too, that you look at with a fresh pair of eyes, and you're just happy that his life is not yours. Seriously. But after that, I had a 2-hour feature that was also sent to me by somebody, this time in the audience. And it was a video it was called Project Iceman. And it was about this young guy, Anders Hoffman, who found purpose in committing to becoming the first person to ever complete the Ironman challenge in Antarctica, which is like a 2.5-mile swim in the water out there. Okay. In Antarctica. Over 110 miles with a bike in snow, and then 26-mile run. Let me tell you about this, ladies and gentlemen. This was so damn intense. Lauren, she had to bow out before like the last 45 minutes of it because it just got too late. I started it around, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock it went on, or 9:30 or something. But it's 2 hours. This was so intense. It really was. It was very, very intense stuff. And I was thinking about it for most of the night because the indomitable will, man, it started off with him just jumping into his local river, off a local pier in the middle of the winter, into the water and just trying to survive for like 30 seconds, working it up to a minute, and then, going to different parts of the world and swimming a little bit longer, and just realizing how much of a burden this was going to be, this goal in life. But the indomitable will it was just incredible. It was just incredible. And I got to reflect on that maybe about 45 minutes ago when I went outside and I broke down all of the boxes that I had to put out for recycling pickup tomorrow. And I brought out the recycling without any jacket on, and I almost gave up. I almost gave up bringing out the recycling. I almost quit. I wanted to quit walking down the driveway because I didn't have anything, and the wind just cut right down to the core of me. And I started chuckling to myself as I'm bringing this stuff out there. Just like, I'm watching this guy jump into the water. He swam like 3-point-something kilometers in the Antarctic, and it was something else. So I'll probably replay that again. Maybe I'll replay it once again this week after a 9 o'clock, after the show ends at 9 o'clock. But if you want to watch in the meantime, you got to go check it out because that was really, really great. It's called Project Iceman. I think is it Project Iceman? I think so. So there you have it. I just wanted to throw that out there. All right, here's another thing. I have a little bit of it's not an update, but it's just a little something to throw out there with the 100-day cough thing. This was shared on the conspiracy subreddit on Reddit sometime recently, which I think goes hand in hand with what our friend Really Graceful retweeted out there. It's a question that seems to be on a lot of people's minds, and it is certainly worthy of asking because this has nothing to do with it's not really relegated to just people who have offered themselves up for one medical experiment or another, if you know what I'm talking about. Where is it? Here we go. The headline that the OP put out there is anyone else getting sick more than usual? My whole family has been sick 6 times since September. We didn't get vaxxed. There are other families I know who have it worse and have been sick about every other week lately. The sicknesses vary to mild, annoying cold to COVID, but I've never gotten sick this often like it before. Something is off. Something isn't right. I'm in America. I'm starting to suspect maybe it's biological warfare or maybe they're spraying something in the sky. Now, as I read this, now the tickle just came back in my chest. So this post alone just got me sick again. But I've had 2 colds. Very odd. It really is very odd. Aurora, even though she bounces back and she kicks these things in 36 hours. One day one time she was sick for 3 days and just felt like fatigued and all that stuff. She bounces back quick, but the fact is that there is something going on there. And when we brought this up the first time, I think that you cannot discount the original main theory of that we're still kind of bouncing back from 2 years of a real heightened sense of isolation. Even those of us who were venturing outside and went out to, and just, tried to stay as normal as possible, everything that you were doing outside became contactless in one way or another. So I think that 2 full years and change of that predominant culture being forced on us, that can definitely have a big impact. But, I didn't stay inside. I tried to get in front of people as much as I could. I wasn't wearing masks, not even to my grandmother's. I was the only one in the funeral home that didn't have a mask on back in 2022, things like that. But I just wanted to throw that out there because we had a 100-day cough segment, I think last week or the week before, and this just kind of rang a bell. So putting that one out there too. Another thing, which I said this, we will be talking about this tomorrow night when Jeremy Reese is on the show. This is from Vice, so you know it's good. Actually, I thought I had a Zero Hedge article about this. Anyway, Apple Vision. It's Apple, not Google. Apple Vision Pro turned the real world into a Black Mirror episode overnight. You too can live in a new tech dystopia for the low cost of $3,500 plus $19.99 for a battery pack. Wow. Instead of buying this new broadcast computer, I could have bought this. There you go. That looks like life living to the max. So you got these goggles on your face. Where is it? Like here's a couple people eating at a diner with their goggles on it. And if you want to know how it kind of overlays things, here, take a look at this.
Hey guys, just want to show you real quick how I enjoy my breakfast with the Apple Vision Pro. As you can see here, I'm watching 33 different NBA games at the exact same time.
That's not on his wall. That is projected before his eyes. Remember when we were talking about, anytime we talk about this augmented reality stuff and virtual reality, they've been dabbling with VR for a long time. But whereas Pokemon Go was a annoyance for most of us, it was a beta test for things like this. About 7 years ago, when they roll out Pokemon Go, you probably had, high schoolers in your driveway looking for imaginary animals to catch through their phone, using the phone as a guide. And now it's strapped to your face.
Time, just covering my entire wall in case I'm not getting enough dopamine hits over here. I can look over here and I got X. I can scroll X and I can like posts. As you see, it's very easy to scroll X on the Apple Vision Pro. Over here, I'm looking at my different.
I love how he said it's very easy to scroll X, and all of his attempts to scroll X failed. Look at how he's just grasping at the at the air. Look, he's grasping at air over here to flip the page on Twitter, and watch the luck he has.
I can look over here and I got X. I can scroll X and I can like posts. As you see, it's very
you did all that. You jiggled X. Look at this. This is it's the Twitter jiggler.
Very easy to scroll X on the Apple Vision Pro. Over here, I'm looking at my different scores. I'm checking out how much money I'm making off fantasy, off sports betting.
It sounds like paradise. It really does. To look around and be surrounded by other people running around, bouncing basketballs and everything else. But this is it. You remember we were looking at some of those hyper real what they called it, hyper reality. I know it was just like a demo projection film kind of a project, but they had these hyper reality scenarios that they projected coming out of, I think it was Tokyo. Let me see here. Hyper Reality Tokyo. Here you go. This was 7 years ago. This is exactly what people are doing right now for $3,500. At least a few people are.
Fantastic. Great. Nice. Great.
Here, watch. Walking down the street. Walking down the street. Going shopping. Yeah, so this is what's going on now. Now, as far as practical goes, I don't see anything practical about it. I don't see anything practical about it. People have these goggles strapped to their face. They look like idiots, and whenever they're spotted in public, it's almost like somebody spotted a Sasquatch. It's very weird and clumsy. But I guess it's just the beginning. Now, we'll talk about this because obviously this is something that is still attached to your head. It's not telepathic, as we know that those telepathic headbands would probably be a lot better and a lot more preferred for people instead of putting a Neuralink chip inside of their skulls. But as far as what is going to be preferred for those who run the world, they're going to want this to be a permanent marriage. And it's just so odd. It's odd that this is happening. It's crazy to actually see it and not have it be some kind of a produced, I guess you can call it a produced movie. Because this has been ready to be rolled out for a long time. Nuts. All right. Well, anyway, we'll do more of that tomorrow. Now, here's the big thing I wanted to bring up in the first half. And I want your calls. Clown World on Twitter put this out a couple of days ago. It's 2 minutes long. It's a driver. He is a food delivery driver who's very upset with somebody that he delivered to who did not tip him. And he's so upset that he cancels her order because she didn't tip. And I thought that it brought up some really great conversational opportunity here to see what you guys and gals think about tipping and this and that, because throughout this 2 minute video, we're going to go back and forth. I actually don't think anybody in this video is very nice, but let's just watch it together. You ready for this? Listen up. If you're not watching, you're going to be able to hear it just fine. Okay.
Do not interrupt me. And then coming over here driving on my dime to get your groceries and you don't give me a tip, that is not only unethical, but it's not only is it disturbing and unethical, but it's very wrong of you to think that way. You've got a mental screw up in your brain that doesn't work.
Are you finished?
And I'm not going to waste my time and breath with you.
Now, first of all, it's not on his dime. If he's doing this, if he's signed up with an app, you're getting paid. Okay, you're getting paid, and that's it. So the big question is on expectancy. Are people entitled to a tip? Okay, that's the first question. Are people entitled to a tip?
I'm going to cancel your order right now.
Okay.
Boom, canceled, and you're going to go pick up your own order. Right?
No, let's just get a different shot.
Okay. So you're
You
wasting,
do whatever you have to do.
You're wasting your time.
He's literally wasted his time. Do you realize how dumb you sound? Okay, you sound dumb.
I'd like to find out how it would feel for you to go and do my job and deliver it and then not get tipped. How would you feel if somebody didn't tip you, lady? Answer me. Answer me.
Well, you won't let me talk. So.
Here, why don't I slap some sense into
Okay, so here you go. First of all, she's got the vocal fry. That would piss me off not getting tipped. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. But again, what are you to expect? He should not expect a tip. Don't do a job if that's what you're going to be like. But here's the other thing. He just raised his hands at this point.
Here, why don't I slap some
No,
sense into
you're
you?
not gonna.
Okay, right there. He did not earn a tip, but he did earn to be taking a nap on the sidewalk. And the fact that the guy that she's with, whether it's her boyfriend or friend or cousin or gay brother or whatever the hell it was, the fact that he didn't lay him out right there. So this goes back and forth. All right, maybe he was just having a really bad day and things just kept getting worse for him. But I saw, going back to the tip thing, I saw somebody totally miss the plot in the comments, and they said something along the lines of tipping should end. We should end tipping because customers shouldn't pay employees. Their employers should. And I thought that was so stupid because obviously this accentuates the big question, the big theme of tonight is do we have now a tip culture? Because these people are paid. They are paid by employers. And gratuity is nothing about whether or not you believe in your view that a person's employer doesn't pay them enough. That is not what gratuity is about. The point is that the tip shouldn't be expected. You've got to give service that is so satisfying that people would feel guilty not giving a little bit extra thank you. That's it. And even then, you still will get something that is less than customary or nothing at all. And it'll suck, and you'll mutter to yourself, well, that guy was a cheap fuck, or whatever. And it'll just happen. But this, I don't believe in that at all. A tipping should go away, and this is really all about the employers. Absolutely not. First of all, you have to understand what a gratuity is. So, but yeah, when he threatens to slap her, which is wildly inappropriate, I can't believe that the girls would just let him raise his hand to her. If this video ended with him snoring on the pavement, it would have made perfect sense, and he'd have earned that, no doubt about it. Here, let's listen to. There's only like 1 minute left.
Are you
I'm
serious?
recording
Yeah,
everything.
we're recording
You can
everything.
record whatever
okay?
you want.
You're gonna
I really
lose
don't
your
care.
job. You're gonna lose your
You know what?
job.
At this point, I don't care because I'm not going to do this. This doesn't work for me.
I put in the
let me tell you something else.
Accepted the bag.
Let me tell you something else, lady. You Swiftie wannabe. Mm-hmm. You're the only.
Oh, it gets very cringe. There's no good guys in this video.
Customer that I have had that did not tip me.
I don't tip.
I want you to know that.
I don't tip
Is
anybody.
that disturbing to you or what?
No.
See, this is the thing that gets me. He might just be having a horrible day. Maybe he lost somebody in his life. I don't know what's bad. But if she's the only one that didn't tip him, then why are you willing to lose your job over this? And you just said, I don't even care anymore. So there has to be something outside of this. So everybody's behaving badly. But it brings up the question about gratuity. Should it be expected? How much is customary? I know the whole 20% thing. But, I want to know from you guys and gals. Because I know that some of you, and I've seen the comments and I've gotten emails. I know that some of you are against tipping. I do not tip. I have seen that so many times coming from people, and that's curious to me too. You never tip? Like, what if you get exemplary service? A person that deserves, or in your mind, should be thanked a little extra. I mean, I believe that there's something spiritually gratifying about that. I hate tipping, in a begrudging manner. I hate that. And I'll go low end of what is customary for people, but I don't know the last time I don't think I ever stiffed somebody. At least not in adulthood. I don't think so. Let's take some calls in this. 914-200-0269. 914-200-0269. That's what we're dealing with right now. I want to hear from you. First one up. Hello, who's this?
Hey, it's the Sentinel. How are you tonight, sir?
Hello, Sentinel. It's great to have you on. So what are your thoughts?
So, in my state, we have a minimum wage that's directed by the state, and anybody who is hired as wait staff has a minimum wage, wait for it, of at least $2.13 per hour prior to January 1st of 2024. And if they're hired after that, they are at least $3.25 per hour after the 1st of January 2024.
Well, and which state is this again?
This is the great state of Kansas, where our state song is "Home, Home on the Range," and low minimum wage for wait staff.
Well, let me ask you this: what is the? Do you know? I don't know if you work in restaurants or you know somebody who does. What is customary for employers? I know that there is that minimum wage. I mean, some free market economists would say that the true minimum wage is zero. But I mean, I can't imagine that many employers are actually paying minimum wage in Kansas, are they?
No, I think most wait staff, especially in the fast food chains, are paying 10 or more, which is the low end of entry level jobs here in the state. But even then, we're not tipping when we go to McDonald's, in order through the drive-through. But when I go sit down in a restaurant, I have a waiter come. We're tipping somewhere between 15 and 25% based on the service we receive.
Mm. So if the service you receive is what you believe to be subpar, you're waiting. They're not necessarily rude, but they're hard to find. The food came out late. It was a little bit cold. You're still tipping around 15%. Do you ever dip below that?
No, yeah. Usually I don't dip. I don't stiff anybody usually unless they're like totally lost in the sauce and they shouldn't even be a waiter because they're that bad.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't think I've stiffed anybody ever. But what I don't like is I go and get a cup of coffee, and when I'm checking out, I'm using my debit card, and I paid $5 for a cup of coffee. They want to know if I want to give them $1, $2, $5, and suggest $3.33.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I know.
When I don't like that. But
No,
I may or may not in the moment tip that.
It's one of those things, and thank you for the call, Sentinel. I hate having my arm twisted because I'm a good tipper, and I've accomplished a lot with tips. Okay, people always wonder why I walk into certain diners around here, and I'm like the mayor. That's it. Those are the people who make society run. The waiters, the waitresses. I love making friends and showing gratuity. You sit down, all of a sudden there's a bottle of San Pellegrino in front of you, and they're like, it's on the house. That's great. That's not why you do it, but over time you start realizing, it's good to give and it builds friendships, and I just really enjoy it. I really do. But there's horrible service out there, and I will be like Sentinel, where I'll go on the lower end of it, maybe, I don't know, 13 to 15%. That right there starts making me feel uncomfortable. There has to be something egregious that happens for me to say, no, I'm not doing this, or to call over because if I felt compelled to do that, I would call over a manager first. And I would say, listen, they're not getting a tip. You guys are not getting a tip because blah 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 blah. Obviously, you got to do that after you eat, and then don't go back there. That's the other thing. You have to commit to not going back because they will remember you. All right, let's go. 614, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank.
Who's this?
My name is Marcus.
Hello, Marcus. Welcome.
I had to turn you off. Thank you. It's been a long time, and I've never taken the opportunity to call, so I appreciate you.
I'm glad that you're on with me.
Well, I'm a gig worker.
Oh, good.
I see it from both sides. The industry has changed a lot. COVID changed it. I started out as a cab driver, I averaged 75 to 125 a year. It was good. It's not so good anymore. So I see where this guy's coming from, because wear and tear on your vehicle, you're not just delivering, you're shopping a lot of times. And that changes your energy, shopping for somebody and then they don't tip you. So I understand his position. I don't take it to that level, but then again, I usually don't take orders that don't have tips.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was wondering, because what do? You do Uber?
I do it all.
Okay, so that's the thing I wondered. When the order is there for you to claim as an Uber driver or a, whatever the other ones there are, when they're there for you to claim, it says right there if a tip is attached, right?
Usually, sometimes they're hidden, and it's, but if you've been doing it a while, you can tell which ones have tips versus don't have tips.
Gotcha.
Especially with the shopping orders, because those typically have a larger base pay. It starts out a little bit higher, $5 to $6 for Uber, for DoorDash. Instacart, not so much, but you're always getting multiple batches with Instacart, which tends to balance it out. Some tips, some don't.
Well, I appreciate that to come in from his standpoint, because I wanted.
I'm not
to...
defending his actions, because, quite honestly, the confrontation. I tend to be a pacifist with most things, but then again, I also value my time.
I get you.
So if I don't see that I'm making, at least in the amount of time that I'm going to be doing this order, $25 an hour, it's not worth my time.
Well, thank you for the call, Marcus. It was great to have you contribute tonight, and I hope it's not the last time.
Well, thanks for being here.
All right, brother. Have a good one. Now, what he was saying right there too. Watching the guy in the video and the girl that he was coming up against. That was just a pairing of two people that was just, I don't know. She's definitely goading him. She's got some kind of when I was talking about this with Tracy, because I said, oh, you got to see this video. We watched it on Friday, and I saved it for tonight. She said she thought she may have had seen other videos where that blonde chick that he was mad with doing this with other people, like almost trying to get reactions out of people. And she already had that kind of like Mel Gibson ex-wife kind of demeanor, where she's just trying to stay cool and passive aggressive and all that stuff with her vocal fry and all that shit. And he's overreacting, and she's just like, a pig in shit. But but I understand not getting tips sucked, but you got to go into this. You got to go into this with a different mentality. Uber Eats also does something else there too. They try to make you feel a certain way about tipping. So and so, if you order yourself a hamburger or something like that from a local diner or whatever, and they're bringing it to you, and it's like drizzling outside, the app will say, so and so is dodging raindrops to bring you your order. Like, oh, yeah. Juan is literally like you're seeing some Matrix shit in his head. Like, he's got to get this burger to you. He's on a Lord of the Rings mission to get you this burger. Are you sure you only want to tip 15%? Go fuck yourself. Shit like that, you go fuck yourself. Okay? All your little charities at the one-click charities at the store, get the hell out of here. Okay? I can't tell you how many times I have gone to self-checkout stations and see Gratuity pop up. I'm like, who am I tipping? You ever see that? You ever go to self-checkout and have a Gratuity screen pop up in front of you? Who the hell am I tipping? I'm literally checking myself out here. Anyway, okay, let's take another call. 914, you're on the air. What's going on, homeboy? Oh,
hey, Frank.
Home girl,
Hello?
I mean. Hello, home girl.
It's Dominique from Portchester. How are you?
What's going on, Dominique? Welcome.
Thank you. I had to call because I work off Gratuity. I'm an esthetician.
Okay.
So basically, tips have been better than ever after COVID. So, but everywhere we go, we tip even if the service is not that great. Like the diner sometimes is a little iffy, but we still have to tip. I can't do that.
I know.
You know?
I know. Well, let me ask you about an esthetician. I was wondering
Yes.
about this. I was wondering about the other night. I was having a conversation with a few people about where we are post 2020 and what people whose their livelihoods have been impacted in one way or another, which trickles down and impacts their discretionary funds where they can go and they can get a facial or they can go and get their hair done. That people are doing a lot more stuff on their own at home to save money right now. Are you finding that people are doubling down? Are they spending a little bit more freely on themselves again? And when did they start?
Yes.
When did that start up again?
100%. That started after COVID. So basically, once there was like the okay to go and do facials freely and you didn't have to wear a mask, it started getting bombarded. I mean, I work in Mamaroneck, so I have the Rye, the Harrison, Larchmont, and they're always willing to spend money. I mean, the gratuity is really good. I think I made like $8,000 in gratuity just on credit cards this year.
Jeez.
I know. That's a
great.
lot, right?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
It's crazy.
Especially since that all and when you sit. Obviously, this is your business, but when you sit down and do your taxes at the end of the year, those bastards. When you do your taxes for the bastards at the end of the year, that is all that's all under gift, right?
Well, yeah. So I'm actually a corporate employee. I don't work like 1099 anymore. I've been doing this like 20 years. So now I work for a corporate spa and they do W-2. So you're on as like a salaried employee, but I get paid by the facial, like a rate. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Well,
but we're on as that. So it's actually not bad when you do your taxes, but of course we're going to have to pay something. So
it never ends. Well, Dominique, this is great to hear from you. And are you a stylist?
Sure.
Are you a stylist as well?
Like do hair? You mean? No.
Well, I
just
can't.
Strictly do.
I've got nothing for you to style.
Facials.
There's no styling going on there, but I don't know. Maybe I'll contact you for some skin tips one day.
Yeah, that would be awesome for sure. And your daughter's so cute. I love it.
Did you like? I have to go back and listen to her singing the Scorpions tonight. So
she's adorable. I can't. I'm glad I caught it tonight for sure.
Well, thank you for the call, Don.
Yes. Talk to you soon. Okay. Have a great day.
All right. Take care. All right. Estheticians back in the saddle. Let's take some more calls on gratuity. Do we have a gratuity culture? What do you think about this? 626.
Let's see. What's up, Frank?
Hey.
So I kind of that first caller, the guy was talking about how much these servers make in Kansas. Man, I feel kind of bad for them because check it out. I'm a server and I work in California, and we get $15 an hour, and it's like we double dip out here, dude, because I can make $200-300 a night easy in tips where I work, and sometimes you take an L. Sometimes you come up, like I'm old school. I've been doing this shit for like 20 plus years. I tried managing for like 10 years while my kids were at that age where I needed like the dependable pay and stuff, where I was like scared working off tips. If it's not, it's not dependable. And dude, the servers made more money than me as a manager. And so like once COVID hit and they tried to tell all us managers where I was managing at the time, like, you got to take a pay cut. I was like, hell no. I called my homie where he owns a restaurant, and I'm like, hey, dude, I'll come work for you. He has me work manager shifts once in a while when he wants to go on a vacay or whatever. It works out great for me. But the entitlement is the problem with these servers. Like, same with that guy. They don't know how to work hard. Tips, the term tips is to ensure proper service. So if you don't do that, don't expect to get a tip. Like we can automatically gratuitize. Well, that's what we call it. I can automatically gratuity on a party of anything over 6 people where I work, but I don't do it because I like to get what the guest feels comfortable to give me. There are times where other servers have served people that don't tip, and they're like, hey, bro, you better put gratuity on that. And I'll tell myself, I'll do it sometimes, I'll be honest, because I'm not going to take an L, because we also tip out other areas of the restaurant. I got to tip off my liquor sales. I got to tip off my food sales.
Oh, you got to split them. You have to split them.
I don't split them, but I tip a percentage of like I tip 3% of my food sales to the food runner.
Okay.
I tip 6% of my sales to the bartender. So like if I get a party that spends $300 on all booze and they tip me $20, I just got fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm actually losing money on them. Anyway, if people work hard, and the last caller was right. Ever since COVID, people are very generous. So if you do a good job and you work in gratuity and you work hard and you ensure that proper service to people, you're gonna get yours. And some people, they don't tip, and you just gotta roll with the punches, dude. It all averages out. If you do a good job and you work hard and you try your best, everything works out, bro.
What? Okay. Before you go, because this is a great call. If you can, I don't know if you can, if anything does stand out to you, but what is the coolest? What's a memory from your line of work that you'll always remember? Best tip, best customer, best.
Okay, like one of my original jobs, I worked at Buca de Beppo, and our general manager, we looked at her like she was like a Nazi, dude. Like she was on our ass all the time, always ensuring like that we did a good job. There was a rule, like for the big parties, the gratuity was on there. You had to tell the guest, gratuity is on this bill. And so there was one time that this dude over-tipped, and I told my buddy, hey, we'll get fired if Kim, he's like, man, fuck that. We're keeping the money. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not losing my job over a double tip, and I went and told the guy, hey, sir, just for your information, the gratuity was already on this bill. And you know what he told me? It was around Christmas time too. And he told me, you know what? I appreciate your honesty, dude. He's like, Merry Christmas. And he tapped me on my back. He said, thank you. We had a great night. And I was like, dude, see, honest integrity pays off. And like, if you work hard, if I'd have been a slouch and this fool would have been dying of thirst the whole time because I don't want to refill his drink, I wouldn't even feel like I deserve the gratuity.
Mm-hmm.
You get what you give in life, and our job is actually a great example of that because, they ask why I like my job. I like to interact with the people. Like, I feel like I stay younger. Matter of fact, I'm about to be 50, bro. And I got both my younger kids working at the restaurant with me, learning. My daughter's doing it while she goes through college. And I give her my spiel on college. I think it's brainwashing, but that's what she wants to do. So I support her. And I tell her this is a good job right now because you can make your tips, you can make your cash. It's a flexible job while you go to school. But you don't do like me. Don't be like your old man and be stuck up in this job at this age, like use it for what it's worth now. And then when you get out of school and you got your career, boom, do that, but it teaches you to work hard. It teaches you to interact with people. Like I started as a busboy. I started as a dishwasher, bro. So like I used to not be able to communicate with people, or like I was very like shy, I guess. And like, but working in the restaurants made me come out of my shell. And like, there's so many cool people, and then there's a-holes that go all the time places. It's 10%.
You're gonna get them. You're gonna get them everywhere. There's assholes everywhere, and I gotta say, there's something. You got a very young energy in your voice for sure. So when you say you're turning 50, I say, you've definitely maintained.
Well, I'm 48, so it's like, damn, it's right there.
Still, you've maintained that good flow, man, and that's awesome that your kids are working with you now too, and. This is a great call. And what was your name?
My name's Travis. I've called you a bunch of times, but I think because you're in a new spot, you don't have me saved anymore or something.
Yeah, I know. With
all the communication meltdowns going on.
Well, you do pop up as Travis on the Zoom call, but sometimes when people call in, it's not the name that. So I got to double check. So.
No, dude, I appreciate you taking any of our calls, bro. That's one thing I love about your show. You let us chime in on stuff and honestly, sometimes I want to get in bad because you have me rolling. Like when you were talking about how that guy at the doorway got laid out, bro, if he'd have came at my wife raising his hands like that, bro, he would have been laid out in my fucking front yard. No way, dude. That's crazy. Honestly, you can't. That's an expectation that's too high. He should have not took that. He should have not took that call. I get it. I used to deliver pizzas, so I know about the wear and tear on the car. But at the same time, like when I was in the Marine Corps, you know what USMC stands for? You signed the motherfucking contract. So you should have not joined if you didn't want to fucking be in the suck for 5 years or whatever you signed up for.
That's the first time I ever heard that one, Travis. Well, listen, call in more often. I can't wait. Maybe you'll be the first call on the first night back in Studio A. Who knows?
You never know, dude.
All right.
Thanks, Frank.
Take care.
Frank.
There you go. There you have it. All right, we got a room. We got time for one more call. Then we're going on intermission. I almost don't even want to talk about the. I don't even want to talk about the Congress. I want to talk about Congress. Who the hell wants to talk about the southern border tonight? We know that we're screwed. But we'll keep mixing these calls in, and I'll do some other things because there's just some interesting media with all that. And I'm going to get to your super chats. Super chat. Quite frankly, superchat.com. Quite frankly, superchat.com. And I would love to read some of your thoughts. Drop a tip. Am I worthy of a tip tonight? What about some gratuity? Nah, that's quite frankly, superchat.com or the Rumble rants or the gold pills, whatever the hell it is. I'm going to read all of your thoughts and all of your shout outs and all that stuff right on the other side of the intermission. But first, let's take another call. 541, you are on the air. Cool.
It's your brother Zoe.
Hey, what's up, Zoe?
Great freaking topic, Frank. Great thing. You know, this is it's a perfect time. This has kind of been bothering me because much like you inferred earlier, I'm the same way. I am a very generous tipper. There's about 24 places that I frequent quite regularly. And when I just walk in the door, it's like Norm on Cheers. Hey, Al! Al, everybody knows me. They're happy to see me because I take care of them. But it seems like ever since, I don't know, the beginnings of like Starbucks, where people are making a pretentious cup of coffee for you, all they're doing is walking 3 feet and handing it to you. I mean, did they really do you some incredible service?
No.
I know that my brother, being a bartender, he lived on his tips. They all, I mean, waitresses and bartenders, they live on their tips. Their hourly wage is not anything they can live on, so they depend on it. And that guy described it perfectly earlier. The person, he's got to tip, the food runner and the bar up. That's exactly the way it works. And if people do a great service, they do deserve a little bit more. I'll go an extra step. These days, if I find someone has gone above and beyond, absolutely a textbook perfect waiter or waitress, I'll ask for the manager and I will point the kid out and say, this young lady is a shining star. And I recently even, I can't remember the restaurant chain, but not only told the manager, she gave me a website where I could commend the person. I took the time to write an email telling the people the sun shines out her little hiney and all that, But the thing that drives me crazy is there are tip jars popping up in places like convenience stores or my local liquor store. I mean, I'm walking through the aisles. I'm grabbing the bottle of booze and bringing it to the counter. And then what exactly did they do for me? All they did was ring my credit card. Do they really deserve a tip for that? I think it's getting to the point of the ridiculous.
You're right. And it's nuts. And it's not even just like, okay, well, I see tip jars popping up all over the place. It comes along with scoffing, that kind of scoffing energy if you don't pay it any mind. And I always do. Go ahead.
No, exactly. I was just going to agree with you.
Yeah, no. I mean, I remember during COVID, and thank you for the call, Zoe. Is that all you wanted to say?
That's it, my man. That's it. Great topic.
I always love getting a call from you, my friend. During COVID, during the lockdowns, I would still go to this one diner, and where I know all the staff and whatever. And during all that stuff, I mean, they're all wearing masks and stuff. I'm just rolling in with nothing on, because I know at nighttime there's barely anybody there, and there was nobody there. This place that would be teeming with kids from, if they're home from school, from college, or if they're local in town in high school, this place would be teeming with kids at night. And of course, on the weekends, it's all families and stuff, teeming. And it was just ghostly in there. Nothing. That's when they're putting up all the dividers, the plastic dividers, and they got the masks on everything. You can't hear anybody because you're talking through a mask, and then you're talking through a plastic divider, and nobody was there. And I would walk in right after a show. It'd be like 20 after 9, and I walk through the front door, and my buddy Aaron and Beto and and Moises and all them, they would be all, sitting in the back by the bar area there. And, they see me walking in and I, say, what's up? And they would just put their hands up and like, look, this is what's up. And it must have been nerve wracking for everybody because all of a sudden it's just like, are we going to have jobs? And that's when I started. I started to, like, anytime I felt compelled to go there every night just to even just get myself a cup of coffee or something like that. And I would tip $10 every time, just so that there was something. It was stupid. Like, what the hell is my little tip going to do every night? But it starts becoming less about, tipping starts becoming about relationships after a while, especially if you're going to places that you really love and you're forming bonds with people. That's it. There's a couple of small ice cream shops around here that have always been staffed by local high school girls. Even when I was in high school, all my girlfriends in high school would be working there and stuff. Now I take Aurora and Lauren to these ice cream places, and that's just like, these are young girls, and they put out little fish bowls for tips, and you say, all right, well, $5 in here, $5 in there, and just those are things. You make it fun. But this other stuff, there's definitely a line of desperation that's running through it. There's entitlement, but there's also desperation in there too. Everything that we saw in that video between the guy and the girl that we opened up with, there's just something not right. There's something not right about her, and there's something that he's going through as well. That is making this ridiculous behavior come forward, especially when he raised his hands to her. But I don't know. More on this in the second half. I hope you are there, ladies and gentlemen. You please join me. I have the link to the Pilled on the in the description below. I also, if you want, just jump over there quickly, and you can't find the Pilled in time, quitefrankly.tv, press play. No paywalls, none of that stuff. It's just good old, quite frankly, on a independent platform, as independent as it comes. And there's so much more room for activities. I mean, calls, including your tips and your thoughts. So call in, please, and I would love to bring you over with me to the other side. So with that, I will be back, hopefully with you.
The rest of the show is available exclusively at pilled.net. Follow the link in the description of the episode, get signed up, it's that easy. Or head on over to quitefrankly.tv, just press play. No paywalls, no censorship, no strings attached. So head on over, quitefrankly.tv, powered by Foxhole, and pilled.net.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out to press the like button. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to intermission.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, intermission. Yeah, intermission.
We're now entering, quite frankly.
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 We all support quite frankly.
Not quite.
Quite frankly.
Let's go, Brandon. Quite frankly, in Roma, Italia.
Quite frankly. You going on Frank's show tonight?
I want to get a Coke. Can I get a Coke?
So everybody watch. Quite frankly.